And here's sprint question number 24 from the 2019 chapter. A fair tetrahedral die whose faces are numbered 1, 2, 3, and 4 is rolled 3 times. What is the probability that the sum of the numbers rolled is 7? Express your answer as a common fraction. And we can now do casework on what we get as our first roll, because you could technically figure out the entire distribution of what happens when you roll a tetrahedral die 3 times, but that's just unnecessary. So we now do casework on what the result of our first roll is. So if we start with a 1, then that means that the sum of the last 2 rolls has to be a 6. And how many ways can we get 6? Well, that's either 2, 4, 3, 3, or 4, 2. Now, what happens if I'm going to do, all of these cases are very similar, so I'm just going to do that. What happens if we start with the 2? Well, then that means since the total sum is 7, the last 2 have to sum to 5. And the final 2 have to be one of the pairs of 1 and 4, 2 and 3, 3 and 2, or 4 and 1. Now, what happens if we start with a 3 or a 4? Oh, shoot. Okay. Yeah. So if we start with a 3, then the last 2 have to sum to a 4 because the total sum is 7. And how many ways can we get to 4? Well, it's 1 and 3, or 2 and 2, or 3 and 1. And by now, you should probably be able to tell what we're going to do next. We see what happens if we start with a 4, then the last 2 sum to 3, and this is doable as 1, 2, or 2, 1. And so we just count up the number of numbers on this left side, which is 3 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2. And in total, there is 4 cubed different ways. There's 4 cubed different possible results because there's 4 results each time, and we roll the dice 3 times. This is 12 over 64, which equals 3/16, and that is our answer.